You don't see it happening, but it's already costing you everything. There are habits quietly destroying your life, not loudly, not dramatically, but slowly, silently, like rust eating away at iron. And the most dangerous part? You think they're normal. Stoicism teaches that a man doesn't fall because of one big mistake, he falls because of small, repeated behaviors he refuses to notice. Today, you'll see them clearly. And once you see them, you can never go back to ignorance. Before we continue, subscribe to Inner Steel, because discipline, silence, and power are built daily, not once. Seeking constant validation. You don't live for yourself anymore. Every action, every decision, is filtered through one question. What will they think? You post for approval. You speak for approval. You even hold back your true thoughts, for approval. But here's the truth. The more you chase validation, the less respect you command. A Stoic understands that external approval is unstable. Today they praise you, tomorrow they ignore you. Story. A young man named Daniel always checked his phone after posting anything online. Minutes felt like hours. If the likes were low, his mood dropped. If people didn't respond, he deleted the posts. One day, his mentor told him, "You've handed strangers the remote control to your emotions." That hit him. From that day, Daniel stopped checking immediately. He posted, and walked away. At first, it felt uncomfortable. But slowly, he became free. Because real power begins when you no longer need applause. Overthinking everything. You call it being careful. But in reality, it's fear disguised as intelligence. You replay conversations. You imagine outcomes. You analyze every possible scenario. And while you're stuck in your head, life moves on without you. Stoicism teaches clarity through action, not paralysis through thought. Story. Tund had an opportunity to start a small business. He researched for months. Compared options. Asked for opinions. A year passed. Someone else started the same idea, and succeeded. Tund didn't fail because he lacked knowledge. He failed because he never moved. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It traps you. Avoiding discomfort. You choose what's easy, every time. You avoid difficult conversations. You delay hard decisions. You escape into comfort, scrolling, sleeping, distractions. But comfort is expensive. It costs you growth. Stoicism is built on one principle: embrace discomfort voluntarily. Because if you don't choose discomfort, life will choose it for you. Story. A man avoided going to the gym because it felt uncomfortable. He told himself he'd start next week. Years later, climbing stairs became difficult. Now discomfort wasn't optional, it was forced. What he once avoided became unavoidable. The lesson is simple. Face pain early, or face greater pain later. Comparing yourself to others. You scroll through people's lives and feel behind. Someone is richer. Someone is more successful. Someone is ahead. And without realizing it, you lose focus on your own path. Comparison kills progress. Because you're measuring your beginning against someone else's middle. Stoicism teaches this. Stay in your lane. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. Story. A young woman kept comparing her progress to her friend who seemed more successful. She felt discouraged and slowed down. Years later, she realized something painful. Her friend had simply started earlier. If she had stayed consistent instead of comparing, she would have been far ahead. Comparison doesn't motivate you. It weakens you. Talking too much. You reveal too much. Your plans. Your goals. Your next moves. And every time you talk, you lose energy. Because speaking creates a false sense of achievement. Stoics value silence, not because they have nothing to say, but because they understand the power of restraint. Story. A man announced his business idea to everyone. He talked about it daily. People praised him. But months later, nothing was built. Another man said nothing. Worked quietly. 1 year later, he launched successfully. The difference? One spoke. The other acted. Silence builds. Noise destroys. Seeking instant gratification. You want results now. Quick success. Fast money. Immediate pleasure. So you choose what feels good, instead of what builds strength. But everything valuable in life requires time. Stoicism teaches patience. Discipline over impulse. Story. A student chose entertainment over studying every night because it felt better in the moment. Exams came. He wasn't prepared. The pain of failure was far worse than the discomfort he avoided. Short-term pleasure always leads to long-term regret. Blaming others. You blame your past. You blame people. You blame circumstances. But every time you blame, you give away your power. Stoics take responsibility, not because everything is their fault, but because responsibility gives control. Story. 2 men lost their jobs. One blamed the company, the economy, everyone. The other asked, "What can I do next?" Months later, one was still complaining. The other had moved forward. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. Neglecting self-discipline. You rely on motivation. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel like working. Most days you don't. Discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears. Story. A writer waited to feel inspired before writing. Weeks passed with nothing. Another writer wrote daily, whether he felt like it or not. One became consistent. The other remained stuck. Success doesn't come from feeling ready. It comes from doing the work anyway. Holding on to toxic people. You keep people in your life who drain you. Out of loyalty. History. Fear of being alone. But not everyone deserves access to you. Stoicism teaches detachment. Protect your peace, even if it means walking away. Story. A man stayed friends with people who mocked his ambitions. Slowly, he stopped trying. One day, he distanced himself. It was lonely at first. But over time, he grew. Because the environment you stay in shapes who you become. Ignoring your own thoughts. You distract yourself constantly. Music. Social media. Noise. Because silence feels uncomfortable. But in silence, you meet yourself. And many people avoid that. Stoics sit with their thoughts. They observe them. Control them. Because your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. Story. A man couldn't sit alone without checking his phone. One day, he forced himself to sit in silence for 10 minutes. It felt strange. But slowly, he began to understand his thoughts. And once he understood them, he gained control. These habits are silent. They don't destroy you in one day. They destroy you slowly. And if you're not aware, you won't even notice until it's too late. But now you see them. And awareness is the first step to power. Subscribe to Inner Steel for more lessons on discipline, silence, and self-mastery. C. Because a strong mind isn't built by chance. It's built by choice.